Wrapping up my work, gonna do a quick live with you. Try to better understand why you personally are still using the word no. Because the more I've been creating these lessons for the Yes Mom Challenge and recording podcast episodes on this and looking into the psychology of it, I am leaning very heavily towards my belief being firmly secure in anything you want to teach your kids, you can teach it with yes language. And I want to know your thoughts on that. Why are you saying no? Literally, if you're on live, you are committed to leaving a comment and telling me why you're saying no. I truly want to hear from you because I've heard in the comments on my posts since I've been posting like this, and I've been using this with my kids, this yes language, for years. I've been talking like this with my kids for years, and I've improved a lot. Especially as I have more kids, I've just learned, like, if I'm going to parent 4 kids successfully and by the values that I want to parent, I'm going to need to be very mindful of my words. And I love that level of accountability personally. So I want to hear from you, though. Why are you saying no? Why do you say no? What good do you believe no does in your home? Because they need to learn. They can't have everything they want. That's valid. That's valid. Because I don't want to reach for the messy toys. Let me know what you mean by that. Sometimes I feel like adequate alternatives are too long to understand for my 2-year-old. 2-year-olds are extremely smart. I have a 1-year-old. Let me tell you my kids' ages. 7, 5, 3, and 1. 7, 5, 3, and 1. And I only use yes language. I've been seriously I just recorded a full 40-minute podcast episode on this. You guys can go to my podcast and listen to this episode. You can teach your kids how to properly take care of their toys, why we limit the amount of toys in our home, how to kindly let their sibling know that they want to do something different or address conflict. I mean, literally all of that using yes language. And here's what's so interesting when you're saying like, oh, my 2-year-old's too young to understand. You could say my 1-year-old's too young to understand. What makes you think they understand a no any better than a yes? Especially the younger the child, the more effective yes language is. Because kids, their mind, their frontal lobe is so underdeveloped to be able to go to logic and reason to understand this like can't idea and don't idea. They are looking for clear instruction. So if you're telling your 2-year-old, don't put your finger in that outlet, totally get why you're doing it. Like, that's dangerous to put your finger in that outlet. We want to teach our kids how to stay safe, right? We want to be able to trust that I can leave you in this room for a few minutes while I go get this sandwich and your fingers are going to stay out of that outlet. We want to be able to trust them. The problem with that teaching style, though, of do not put your finger in that outlet. What is the most clear instruction I gave my 2-year-old, my 3-year-old in my delivery? What's the most clear instruction I gave them? Put your finger in that outlet. That's what they caught. It's not just about what you say, it's about what your kids catch in what you say. So imagine that your kids, this is what I do. I personally imagine that my kids, their mind, not them personally. My kids respect me. They love me. They trust me as a leader. Their brain ignores the word can't, don't, won't, shouldn't. They just listen to instruction. So if you feel like my kids do the exact opposite of what I say, my kids are constantly disobedient, they're disrespectful, if you're really feeling that way, the truth is there's not a single person on the planet that loves and adores you more than your own children. No one. Nobody wants to cooperate with you, to collaborate with you, and contribute to you more than your kids. No one. Not on this planet. And all your kids are doing are following instructions. So it's not our kids' behavior. The kids' behavior is just feedback to how well we're instructing, honestly. So if you're looking at it as like, oh, my kids are so disobedient, and you're saying the word no, obviously the word no is not the answer. We don't need more no to get them to be respectful, obedient, or cooperative. We don't need more. We don't need more of something that's not working. Picking up when I'm laying down. You get it? Yep. My full podcast episode will help a lot with that. So, how to switch from saying no out of habit naturally and having that right sentence. So that's why I put together 21 lessons for you inside of my Yes Mom Challenge. And while I'm running it as a challenge setting in September, meaning I'm doing it with you, I'm going to address each of your questions along the way. I'm going to point you to the right lesson that you need. You can join me every week for live coaching. That's like the feel of doing it in September. You could use these lessons at any time. They're going to be a live space inside of my app, which I have a coaching app for moms where I teach all this mindset and communication and self-healing inside of the Mom Set membership. So when you sign up for the Yes Mom Challenge, what you're getting is 30 days access to my membership and the study book for the 21 lessons, 21 short video lessons. I get that you're busy as a mom and I want to respect that. So literally, the longest lesson is like 9 minutes. And that's because I wanted to be able to really break down what I meant and 2 lessons specifically that are more of like a mastery level. I wanted to give that to you too, though, because it would truly transform your kids' behavior and reception of what it is that you're saying when you do these 2 things. So 2 lessons are a little bit longer. All the other ones are 5 minutes. Like you could totally do that every day, a little 5-minute lesson. So you get that inside of my membership. We also came up with a Yes Mom Club t-shirt. So upon your completion of the challenge, I'm going to send you a Yes Mom Club t-shirt. You just pay shipping if you want the t-shirt. And I'm also doing a money back guarantee. So 7 days, no questions asked. If you are dissatisfied at all or for any reason you want a refund, I'll give you a refund, no questions asked in the first 7 days. And by the end of the challenge, the end of our 21 days, if you're like, that's just like, I didn't experience a win using yes language, and you followed the lessons, you gave it a try, and you still want a refund, I'm happy to refund you. You can keep the t-shirt and get a refund. I believe so strongly in the framework I am giving you that it will transform your parenting, that those money back guarantees, I'm happy to stand behind them. I know the quality of this work is there. And for a lot of us, what you're actually missing is community. Like you were raised in a home where it was really negative, there was lots of no's, there was threats and consequences. And basically, I'm not even kidding, guys. I'm just gonna give you this example. Last night, my family was on a walk. And there was a teenage boy in the garage filling up a bike tire. And his mom comes to the door and says, come inside and do this thing. And he's like, okay, this will be done filling up in like 1 minute. He's like, I'm going to finish filling up the bike tire and then I'm going to come inside and do that. And he was super respectful about it, super kind about it. And the mom was like, no, you have until the count of 5. 1, 2. And she starts counting down. And I'm just thinking about it like, what's the big deal? Why can't he finish filling up his bike tire? Like he's being responsible enough to take care of his bike and to follow through, getting his bike ready, filling up his own bike tire. He's a teenager. And at what point are our kids going to just numb out to that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown? Like, and then what? What if you get to 1? What are you going to do? Smack him? Yell at him? That's going to get old really quick. And depending on the type of connection and relationship you want with your kids, what do you want your kids to tell you when they're teenagers, when they're in their 20s, when they're in their 30s? What do you want that relationship to look like? I know personally, my mom did the absolute best she could raising me. And I think it's really interesting in the comments on some of my reels, people are just assuming like I was raised this way, and it's the exact opposite. My biological dad passed away when I was 6. My mom was basically a single mom raising us. When she did remarry, that was a train wreck. Like there's a lot of yelling and negativity and trauma and things that I've worked really hard to overcome, because I can see very clearly like I have an awesome life. I have awesome kids. I have an awesome husband. I'm like literally living my dream. If 7-year-old me could see what 30-year-old me is doing. Guys, I took a horseback riding lesson this morning. I didn't get to do that as a kid. I just think in the mindset portion of things, it's worth doing this work. It's worth taking back your life and deciding for yourself, no matter how you were raised, deciding for yourself the relationship you're going to have with your kids. And your kids are going to grow up. So the more you can instill this yes language early on and showing your kids, I value you, I respect you, they value you, and they respect you back. It's reciprocated. And here's the thing, guys. A lot of you are saying no very reactively. And you will be the same people that tell me how important it is that your kids understand the value of the word no. And what I find to be so interesting is how on earth will your kids learn the value of the word no if you don't follow through on it? That if your kids question the quality of your word and they truly think, yeah, my mom said no, but I can get her to change her mind. I just have to whine. I just have to cry. I just have to push back on this boundary. I just have to argue. I just have to give her a good enough argument, and then that no means nothing. That's literally what you teach. When your kids say, hey, Mom, can I go play in the backyard? And you're like, no, we're staying inside. I'm like, oh, Mom, come on, please. It's so nice out. I would love to just run around, get my energy out. And they're just like going. And you're finally just like, you playing in the backyard actually sounds really nice right now because that would be a little quiet in here. And you changed your mind. You went back on your word. And what your kids learn from that is you can change a no. You can turn a no around, which in the value sense of what we want our kids to understand with the word no, it comes back to consent, respecting people's boundaries, respecting their preferences. They are not going to learn that if you go against your word. So all these reactive no's where you're later changing your mind is literally teaching your kids to disrespect your word. And it's because you disrespect your own word. You disrespect your own boundaries. You go back on what you said, and then they learn that's the pattern. Whereas I truly have been trying to remember the last time I told my kids no, the last time I said you can't do something, don't do that, that won't work. The last time I used any of that negative language with them, I'm coming up blank. And my kids, if I say, gosh, I'm trying to think of an example. Like normal, if there is something that I'm like, we are doing this right now. My kids know that's the only option. Like we're going on a family walk. That's a great example. We go on a family walk every day. And there are times that my 7-year-old's like, I don't want to go on a walk. I don't feel like it. And I'm just like, I'll meet you outside. We're going on a walk. And I hold my boundaries so firmly. My word is good as gold. And what does that do to my self-esteem? Skyrockets it. My mental health skyrockets. And my kids feel that from me. They trust me as a leader. And I speak with calm authority. Where you might rise, you might throw this temper tantrum. Oh, baby, I'm chilling out. Like, you're welcome to come meet me back down here. I've done the thing where you try to rise higher than your kids, and I swear my kids, they'll break through any ceiling I thought was there, blast right through it. They're on to the next level. And I'm like, holy, surrender is literally my only option. Like, it really feels like surrender is the only option. Acceptance of their emotional state and taking it as an invitation and opportunity to teach co-regulation has been truly one of the greatest things I've done as a mom. Like, just greatest things. And I can see how my kids respect me more because of it. Okay, so let me look at these comments. Let's see. But, I love but. But is the invitation of negativity and the victim mentality every time. But, I didn't even read your comment and I just know. But, what about when you ask your kids to do something, but they don't? This morning, we need to get to school. Please put on your shoes and make sure your backpacks have what you need. But they don't. Number one, when you push people, you teach them to push you back. So if you push your kids to get ready for school, to get out the door, all you're doing is teaching them to push you back. They push in, like you're trying to push them and they just push against that resistance. It's undesirable. And you would feel that it's really undesirable too if someone had their thumb on you telling you all the things that you need to do. The word need, I teach you about this in my 21-day challenge. It's not just about the words you think are negative, like no, don't, can't, won't, not. It's not just about that. It's truly about our tone and our delivery. All the words strung in between that. If you master this, create desirability in making the right choice. You take your child's idea and you fit it into your boundary. You tell them what would work into the boundary. The boundary doesn't change and move. Their idea gets to get shaped and morphed and like, oh my gosh, I love this. Let's take it together with this. And now it looks like this. This is your option. And I'm not closing down their idea. So if they have a better idea than my idea, please tell me. You have great ideas. I want to hear your ideas too. That saves me a lot of mental work. So when you say like your kids don't do it, one, they know they can get away with it. Two, it's that control piece. Like you're communicating from a place of urgency and control, and kids never respond well to that. They don't. Kids respond really well to that safety and desirability. So your language has the opportunity to create safety and desirability. And that's the change that you would make here. Even if you're not saying like, no, you can't do that. Stop taking forever. Stop wasting your time. You need to do this right now. Just listen to that. You need to put your shoes on. Doesn't that sound stressful? I mean, just put yourself in their position. Spend a couple minutes in their world. Doesn't that sound stressful? Yes, it does. And kids don't want to do it. Feel stressful. Okay, let's see. Tessa has shared how when you get in the work, you start noticing all the people in your life who have the victim mentality. And the first step is to work on yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just because you start changing your language, we are not here trying to change what everybody else is thinking and doing. Because if you change what you're thinking and doing, everybody else will hear you. They'll watch you. They'll just be around your influence, and that is enough. That is what you get to do to people. You do not get to change them or control them. You get to influence them. And the power of positive influence is enough. Because if people see my content and they're like, oh my gosh, I love her energy. I love how she's talking to her kids. That goes further than me saying, you can't do this. This doesn't work. What are you doing? Me trying to control and change them. No, just watch. Just watch what I'm doing. Let me show you what I'm doing. And it's the power of positive influence. It works. It creates desirability. You see, I didn't come on here saying you need to change. I don't make content and put it out there in my reels that blasts moms and tries to control them and push them, because all that does is teaches a mom to push me back. Instead, I create an inviting space where it's just like you have the comfort and safety to just watch and decide for yourself what you'd like to do. And that's why people want to work with me, because they get to decide for themselves. Think about your spouse. You want your spouse to get on board with this? Stop pushing. Stop controlling. I always say, let up on them, double down on you. Any energy you were putting into trying to change that person, put it into you. You have plenty to work on in yourself. I have plenty to work on in myself. Like I'm not going to concern myself with micromanaging other people when I have so much to work on. I'll just work on me. We tell kids no so much. They have exactly, literally, guys, think about it from a child's perspective. They are told when to wake up, when to go to sleep, what to wear. You buy all their clothes. Even if you give them the option to dress themselves, you provide the clothing. You buy it, you provide it, you fill the closet, you fill the drawer. You tell them what to eat and when to eat and what to drink and when to drink it and how much to drink of it. You're telling them where to sleep, what blanket they get to use, the temperature the house is going to be, what the daily schedule is going to look like. Of course, kids want just a little autonomy, just a little bit of like, could you just let me have a piece of the day? Of course they want that. And I'm telling you, you give them, when it's appropriate, and there's tons of opportunity where it's appropriate. When you do that, your kids cooperate with you. They collaborate. They contribute. They contribute when you do it. They realize, wow, it feels really good to be an active contributor in my family. I want to provide for us. I want to help with breakfast. I want to help my mom clean up. I want to set the right example for my brothers. I want to feel fulfilled here. It's natural. It's written in us. So when we say like, what if this? This is the thing. Most people are saying no out of fear. It's all fear-based, fear-driven. Well, I don't want my kids to disrespect their teacher. I don't want my kids to cross someone else's boundary. I'm afraid of, what if my child does this? What if my child doesn't know they took it too far? Could you just trust them a little bit? Trust Your kids are the most innocent people on the planet. Why on earth would you think that they want to go out and do all these big, bad, wrong things when you're literally looking at a child that was born most innocent, completely dependent on you. I mean, they're just here trying so hard to follow your instructions. So it's not a flaw in behavior. Behavior is just feedback. It's on us. It's on our instruction. It's on our example that we've set. When I hear my boys talking mean to one another, guess what, guys? I know I did that. From the times that I was just out of control with my tone. I might have still been using yes language. My tone sucked, though. My tone sucked so bad. I'm going to tell you this, too, because I think it's so great. And I haven't shared it in content yet because I know it can be a little controversial, so whatever. I'm learning, though, that I'm in my era of authenticity. And my boys were getting into a lot of physical fights, and they were speaking really meanly to one another. And I know, like, tone-wise, I did that. Yeah, that was me. Physical, that's just, I think, driven in them to have a little altercation. And I'm flexible with these things. Anyway, I did find, like, I want us to respect each other's bodies and take care of each other's bodies. So I'm going to work harder on more of like a hands-off. Like, you can still wrestle, you can still play. When it comes to like your anger, though, we're learning how to better do that. So I told my boys, anyone between the two of them, my two older boys, my two younger boys, were still listening, learning. My two older boys agreed to this deal with me. If my 7-year-old hurts my 5-year-old physically or verbally, you say something mean or you physically hurt someone, if my 7-year-old does it to my 5-year-old, or if my 5-year-old does it to my 7-year-old, or if they're both in on it, they owe 20 burpees. You got to do 20 burpees. That's the physical consequence for acting on your anger in that way. You are doing 20 burpees. And I got certified in emotional regulation, and I did that because nervous system regulation and mindset, bada bing, bada boom. They're like two peas in a pod. So I added that into my framework of things. I teach about regulation inside of MomSet. It's incredibly important. And I know my boys regulate best through physical outlets. Like, we've done that with stingers with each other. It's a really hard high five. Just physical, like wrestling, they regulate best. So I feel really good about giving them a physical outlet that they are responsible to fulfill. So it seems like a consequence. Really, though, I'm teaching you what to do with the anger. When you feel that and that energy's there, that emotion's there, it's got to have an out. So we are all agreeing that we're doing 20 burpees if we do this. Well, anyway, I held my boys accountable, my two boys accountable to that. And my 7-year-old goes, Mom, what about you? What about when you talk mean to us? Because remember, I'm excellent at using yes language. And sometimes my tone, when I feel distracted on my phone, or I just have been out of my routine and I'm feeling dysregulated, I'm feeling emotionally overstimulated, and I've put myself in a really tricky position and I've neglected my own needs. Maybe I didn't eat lunch that day, whatever. When I do that, again, my tone is the thing that gets tricky for me the fastest. Like, physically, I can control myself. I can control the words out of my mouth. It's how I say them. I come across real ugly. So my 7-year-old's like, Mom, what about you? And I was like, you know what, bud? You're right. I want to commit to doing this with you. If you hear me say something mean, or I say it in a mean way, physically I'm hands off. So if I say something mean or I say it in a mean way, you can remind me to do 20 burpees. So the three of us, three amigos, are on this deal. Well, there was a night when you know you're going to be doing 20 burpees, if you say something mean or you say it in a mean way with your kids, it is fascinating how much changes in your brain where you're like, I'm going to really work on my delivery with this, because 20 burpees is difficult. It's hard. And I'm really fit. I love to exercise, and oh baby, oh baby, it gets, you're out of breath, man. You just took a shower. You're in pajamas. Your 7-year-old's like, Mom. So here's an example. The last time I did my 20 burpees, there's been one time that my son, it was last week. I was on my phone and my boys were meant to be getting in the bath, and my 7-year-old came in guns a-blazing, just like talking mean to me, just like pushing back. I don't want to. I told you I'm hungry and I'm going to eat before I take a bath. I'm like, well, actually, you're taking a bath and then you can eat. This is the order that we're doing things. You will have food to eat after your bath. Take a fast bath. And I started chill and he kept going. And I was just like, get in the bath. Like, I'm done talking about this. Go get in the bath. And I said it really mean. And I knew it when I did it. And I put my phone down and I'm like, literally the reason why I just did that was because I was on my phone. I was working on something different instead of intellectually staying here with them. So my son finally gets in the bath, and then after the bath, we're in the kitchen. I'm making him food. He goes, Mom, I just think the way you said that to me was really mean. It was really hurtful. And I think that would be a good time for you to do your 20 burpees. I was like making him a sandwich. And I was like, Ben, you're right. You are right. The way I said that, it was mean and I know it. And I'm going to do my 20 burpees. And I remember the way you talked to me leading up to that. And I actually think we should do 20 burpees together. You for your part and me for mine. And mind you, I just took a shower. I'm in my pajamas. Really don't want to do 20 burpees. Start getting all sweaty. And that's the consequence. And when I let myself meet that consequence, when I let my kids meet that consequence, we learn better. We're like, okay, what matters more to me? Like, what would be better for me? Just biting my tongue right now or letting it loose and then doing 20 burpees? I'd rather go through the difficulty of biting my tongue than doing 20 burpees personally. So it's been fascinating. And there's been times that like my 5-year-old comes inside. He's like, Mom, Liam just hit me. And my 7-year-old, without a single word, I don't even have to say anything. He just gets down and starts doing his 20 burpees. Like he knows what's coming. And it is just so like, it just helps me stay lighthearted too. Seeing their little interaction together and showing my boys too, like, hey, I've faced consequences too. Here I am doing 20 burpees. So I'm just saying, like, there are ways as a family you can start changing what has been normal and start making these positive changes and do it together. Like we work through problems, we face these problems, and we get through them together. We're all doing 20 burpees. So you can decide, and it can be so fun and empowering and purposeful where your kids are like really inspired by your example. And I think that's one of the greatest things that we get to experience as parents. So we have regulation every time they come home from their dads. We are going to try. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Do they ever refuse to do the burpees? My 5-year-old. Absolutely. Absolutely. It takes more time he's still responsible to do it. And I'm okay if it's going to take 5 minutes for him to make that decision on his own. Because again, if you push, especially on a young child, if you push on them, they just push you back. And I refuse to argue. You know how much energy it takes to argue? A lot. So if you think using yes language requires more energy, that's actually incorrect. Incorrect. Arguing, changing, like saying no and then saying, okay, fine, you can do it. That, you're going to be facing some serious pushback later on. Yeah. So it's really important that your word stays good as gold. That's what yes language helps you do. My 21-day challenge, guys, the link is in my bio. You can also find it in my story or just comment on any of my reels saying yes, Mom, and I will send you the link to get started with us. We are doing it together on September 1st. So just in, what is that, 3 days away, a couple days away. On September 1st, we're getting started. You're going to have your first lesson. I promise you, I will hold your hand. What if it takes them all day to do it? If your child knows the only option available to me is to get this done, they'll do it sooner than later. And if you hold that calm authority, that's what yes language lets you do. Hold a calm authority, keep the boundary in place. Your child learns to just walk inside and get their 20 burpees done. Like my 7-year-old is doing. Right now, my 5-year-old thinks he can push back. He can say, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, your autonomy actually applies to all these other things. This is the thing that I'm deciding. Which that is our role as parents. That's our role as parents, to follow through. And a lot of these fears that we have, and like we have to use the word no because it teaches them these things, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. And if you want no to be extremely valuable, then what you're going to want to do is follow through when you actually use it. And if you give him a threat, if you give him a consequence, you follow through. So my consequence of 20 burpees, it is my responsibility to follow through on that. And if he can push back and I just say, whatever, Luke, never mind, don't do it. What? What did I just tell him works? Arguing with me, throwing a fit, which means I'm going to get more of that and it's going to last a lot longer next time. Okay, if I can't join yet, but want to do the Yes Challenge, can we do it later if we join your membership? Yep, it's going to be an active, live, evergreen space inside my membership. So anytime that you join my membership, you'll have access to the Yes Mom content. There's 21 lessons in there and the study book, and you can use any of those lessons. Let's say, like clearly instruct and quietly wait and positive consequences. Those can get tricky if you were raised very differently than that and you want to learn how to do those things. You're going to have more questions. You're going to be like, well, how would I do that in this circumstance? And you're going to want that feedback, community support. That's why it's so awesome to stay in the membership and do it with us. Is because every week I'm live in the membership answering questions, doing coaching sessions, and the community feed is always open and available to you. And then we also have this really amazing resource that people pay hundreds of dollars every month for access just to a resource like this. And we have it included in the membership. It's called Ask Tessa. So it's a fully trained and equipped AI resource that has all of my courses loaded into it, the 21 lessons for Yes Language, the study book, all of my podcast episodes, all of my coaching sessions that I've done. It's trained on that. So the software's brain has my information, my training, my tools programmed into it. So you go to Ask Tessa and you say, I just went through this. I feel awful about it and I want to be able to do better next time. How could I have used regulation in a time like this? Or how could I have used a different perspective to help me keep my frontal lobe on longer, my logical mind on longer? Or how could I have regulated with my kids instead of yelling at them during this time? And it will literally create a whole plan for you because it has all the information stored into it. So if you're someone that likes a little bit more privacy with your questions and your coaching and receiving guidance, you like a little bit more privacy, the Ask Tessa is awesome. Or if you just want an immediate response. Obviously with people, there's delays. I'm not on my phone 24/7. And I have set work times for myself. So if you like a faster response, Ask Tessa is an incredible resource for you too. And you get that inside the membership. So you pay $97 to take part in the Yes Mom Challenge going on right now. You get 30 days access to my membership. You get my alignment journaling course opened up to you right away, my community, weekly live coaching sessions with me, your 21-day study book, your short video lessons each day for the Yes Mom Challenge, and then the Ask Tessa AI. And then I have the money back guarantee. I know you're going to experience a win using Yes Language. You will hold your boundaries better. You'll see better cooperation and contribution from your kids. You're going to feel overall better. You're going to love what you're saying and how you're saying it. And when your kids still feel frustrated, because that's the thing when people are like, well, my kids are going to go into the real world and they're going to feel frustrated. Yeah, obviously, because we don't just get what we want right when we want it. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes discipline, devotion, persistency. Like there's a lot of character that gets built in life in order to get what you want. Anyway, people think like my kids need to know how to hear the word no. That's not true. Your kids need to know what to do when they feel disappointed. And parents that heavily rely on negative language in the word no think, oh, this is what my kids need. And then they fail to teach them what to do when they feel disappointed. They fail to teach them regulation, to teach them perspective, to teach them that other way to look at things and what to do with those emotions. They tell them, stop crying about it. Why are you whining about it? You know this is the answer. The life skill is not receiving a no. The life skill is not someone telling you no and you saying, oh, okay, you're right. Thanks for telling me where my limits are in life. Becoming Eeyore. The life skill is not to be Eeyore. The life skill is to know how to regulate when you feel angry. It's to know a new perspective and how to get your mind still working with you when that door is closed, when you feel disappointed, when you thought it was going to work out this way and turns out it's completely different. How do you help yourself? Mindset, regulation, contribution, character, integrity, values. Those are the life skills. And you can teach all of that without the word no. You can teach all of that using Yes Language. So that's what I'm here to do, friends. Turns out it's going to be lifelong work. Life's work that we're doing here. And honestly, I just think my kids are so cool. I stinking love. I mean, I know we all love our kids. I want to tell you that there's a lot of value in what you're thinking of your kids because it shows all over your face what you're thinking about them. And you can love your kids and think poorly of them. And when you think poorly of your kids and it's written all over your face, your child walks in the room and sees your face. And they start to question the safety. They start to question the love, even though that you love them so much, you would literally, lay down anything you could for them, right? What's most important is your child walks in the room and you look delighted to see them because then they believe they are delightful people and they do more delightful things. That's important. That's important that when you pull up to your kids, your car pulls in the driveway, or I know I got home yesterday, I went on a date with my husband, we got back and I was missing them. I felt bad that I spent time away, especially since I'm a working mom and things. And I had a great date with my husband and I got back, parked my car, and my two older boys were riding their rollerblades up the street. And I ran out of my car and I start jogging up the road with my hand held high like this, giving them a big wave. And I'm just like, it's that delightment. Look at them like they are delightful. Take delight in the presence of your children. And it's incredible. It's incredible what it does to them, to their psychology, to their chemistry, when they see their mom look so excited to see them. And it's simple things like that. Yes, language is about more than the words that you're using. It's truly what you're thinking about your kids, how you're looking at them, the space that you're creating for them. The desirability that you have to be around them. And I want to help you with all that. Because I know we can do it. Okay, can you give an example of how you teach accountability and consequences using your never say no approach? Okay, so I want to clarify this. It's not a never say no approach. That's not true. I still believe in the value of no. Because honestly, I love my Bible. I read my Bible all the time. I think that's literally the greatest book you could ever read, especially if you want to improve your mindset. And Adam and Eve, guys, bless them. God said, don't eat the fruit on that tree. God, in commandments, God says, thou shalt not lie. He still used language like that. So I think there is a place for it. I do. I've just become very curious about what that place is. That's all. I just want to know that when I use it, it's really appropriate. And over time, I'm still trying to find that answer. So it's not a never say no approach. And even in the way I designed the Yes Mom Challenge, you can still say no. You can say no. There's room to yell. There's room to lose it. My goal is that you feel so safe and welcomed to be within Momset that you bring the challenges to us knowing it's going to be met with a lot of warmth, acceptance, and vulnerability so that you'll receive tools from us. Remember that push you, push me back theory? Yeah, I'm going to walk towards you so that you'll walk towards me in the membership. So you can still say no and win our challenge. We've designed it with a framework to win. So anyway, on my note of Adam and Eve, though, I said this in my podcast. God actually started with clear instruction. He said you could have anything in the garden. You can have anything in the garden. Just don't eat from that tree of what is it? The tree of knowledge. Because then you think you know everything and that you won't need me. That's the message of it. So he actually started with clear, positive instruction, and then he followed it with the no. And my lesson from that is it still didn't work. He said very specifically, do not eat from this tree. And then what did Eve do? She went to the tree, thanks to the snake, got all doubtful about God's love for her, and ate the fruit. So doesn't that just teach us that no amount of telling someone what not to do is going to control them? They're still going to make their own choices. And what I also love about this lesson from the Bible is that God let Adam and Eve face the consequences. The consequences were you are leaving the garden. And he was still their father about it. He clothed them first. He didn't send them out naked. He did still require them to leave the garden and face these consequences. Now there's going to be evil. There's going to be sadness. There's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be death. This garden was perfect. This life was perfect. And now there's going to be so much sorrow. And I'm going to send someone to you. I'm going to send someone to rescue you, to save you. And we're still facing the consequences of all that. And God lets us face the consequences because he's the ultimate example of parenting. He's the ultimate example of a father. I'm going to guide you. Look, I put it all right here. Here's the instructions of a life well lived, and I'm going to let you make your own choices. You still have free will, and I'm going to love you when you make mistakes, and I'm going to try and help you. And when you go and face that sorrow, you experience these things, I'm going to love you through it. You're still going through it though. And I think that's just a powerful lesson as parents. So anyway, using this, it's not a never say no. I want to really clarify that. It's not never say no. You can still say no. I just want you to be really mindful of when you're saying no. Because if you really want your kids to value the word no, then you've got to make sure when I say no, it is literally written in stone. No amount. If your child cries and it changes your mind, they give you a pouty lip and they look so cute, and then you buy the thing for them. If they do those things, do they value the word no? Absolutely not. They see no as a challenge. They see no as an opportunity to push back. And that's a serious thing, serious recipe. So how do you teach accountability and consequences using the never say no approach? I parent from values. I parent from values. I do not parent from a place of convenience, productivity, or efficiency. I parent from a place of values. So staying really clear on our family values helps me make the choices. And then the consequence, like we agreed as a family value, we are prioritizing regulation. Well, what's a great way to regulate when you feel angry? Do some burpees. Hello. So now that aligns with my values, right? The consequence for hitting your brother is 20 burpees. We follow through on that. And it's a simple, clear instruction. And a lot of parents steer away from this because they deliver their instruction and then their child pushes back, which my 5-year-old pushes back, and then I push him back. And then it turns into this argument. And before you know it, there's so many words that you just buried your instruction with that your child doesn't even remember what they're supposed to be doing. They just feel worse. All they know is that now, not only do I feel angry that this happened with my brother, I feel disconnected from my mom. And that feels really scary. So I know for a fact that keeping my kids cooperative and in a place that they want to make contributions into the family and cooperate with me, to do that, safety must be connected at all times, which feels really hard, honestly, that's been really difficult for me too, because I was raised in a home where if you made a mistake, you disobeyed, you had your own opinion, then safety connection was cut off. You were withdrawn from, there was ignoring, there was isolating, and that feels really scary as a kid. And now I just have the awareness of like, okay, when I want to withdraw from my kids, it's not because of what they're doing, it's because of programming. Like when you feel afraid, you go isolate yourself. And now, or when you feel hurt. And now I'm learning I can feel hurt and stay here. And they can feel hurt and feel safe with me. Like the two can coexist. And that's been, nothing has healed me more as a person than having children. I really love having kids. How do you handle when they refuse? Example, my 4-year-old makes a mess in his room. I ask him to clean up, give him something to start with, so all the books or Legos, and he will say a flat out no. Oh, for sure. Younger kids, we've got to make time for our kids. You need to stay in that problem with them and face it with them until it's solved, until we're on the other side. And that can feel really tricky because we put all these other things into our life. And, there are times that it's a solid 10 minutes before they choose to make the right choice. And you sit there in that room and you stay there, safe in connection, until they make the right choice. You go through problems. My hair tie just broke. You go through problems, you face problems with them. It's just like going on a walk with my kids. We get on a hill and they're on their bikes and like, oh, the hill's hard. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to ride my bike. Mom, get my bike for me. Right? I heard it all. I've got all boys. And the answer is, if you brought your bike on the walk, you are committing to riding it the whole time. You are responsible for what you bring on this walk. So you chose to ride your bike. This is a hill. Looks like your options are to walk it up the hill or ride it up the hill. Either way, you are getting it up the hill. No, throw the bike down. I'm just going to leave it here. I don't even like this bike. Well, what's going to happen if you leave the bike here? And I just ask questions. I help them. I help guide them to the answer, right? If I can ask the right question to get my kids finding the answer themselves, they'll learn the lesson better. We're the same way. If we get to find the answer ourselves, then it clicks much better than if someone just gives us the answer. So sometimes it's 30 seconds and then they're back on the bike like, all right, because they trust my word. There is absolutely zero chance that I'm taking your bike and getting it up this hill. Zero chance. There is zero chance that I'm carrying you on this walk. This is just as much my walk as it is your walk. You can walk or sit in the stroller. Zero chance I'm carrying you. I don't care how loud you cry. You're welcome to cry if that helps you feel regulated. So anyway, sometimes it takes a few seconds for them to make the right choice, and sometimes it takes 5 minutes. And just proving that's literally what it is just keep your word. Keep your word. Show them what you're instructing is safe. You are so confident in what you instructed that you're willing to see it through. And your kids will believe what you say a lot better because you model the confidence in your words. You model the value in your words, and then that's how they learn it. So anyone telling you, there's just so many things that I think are unfortunate that moms hear on a daily basis. The only way my kids listen is if I yell. Well, what does that make you? The victim. So now you're the victim and you have to yell. How good does that feel as a mom? Does it feel good to say, I have to yell? You're literally positioning yourself as the victim. You, the person that birthed the child, are the victim of them. No. Nope, it's backwards. So, there's that, and there's there are people in the comments that are like, oh, I use yes language all the time with my kids, and there are just totally times that you've had it, and you just need to say that flat out no, and be so firm, and you just yell, and it totally makes sense why you're yelling, and it's just like, what message are we actually trying to affirm here? I'm just trying to be understanding of how empowered we want moms to feel and what we want them to think like. Because if someone tells me there are times that your child just needs a firm no, and reality is I'm feeling rushed, I'm feeling the urgency, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling frustrated about all these other things, and then my child, in just poor timing, and the poor timing of things, is asking me something like when I was on my phone, right? And my child got the short end of the stick because I was putting my attention to the phone. That is not a time that my child just needs a firm no. And we have it so backwards. When children feel heightened emotionally, that is the worst time to use negative language. It's the worst time to start getting all mean. It's the worst time to be mean, is when your kids feel emotionally dysregulated, because what they're looking for is safety. And so many times, your child doesn't want they're not throwing this huge fit at the store because they don't get the toy. The toy doesn't matter that much to them. I asked my son last night, my 7-year-old. I was like, bud, got some questions for you. He's like, what? He's literally eating a hot dog and an apple for dinner. Just as easy as it could get dinner, because I wanted to go on a walk. And it was like, well, are you going to cook this big dinner or are you going to go on a walk? And I'm like, well, I guess we're having a simple dinner. You're going to get a hot dog and an apple. So I got all my kids a hot dog and an apple for dinner. And I asked my son, just to prove to my brain that I made the right choice, I said, would you rather, so much dog hair on me, would you rather have your favorite dinner, this great, big, wonderful, your favorite dinner? Would you rather have that and mommy be in a bad mood? And I made this face. I'm like, and me be in a bad mood? Or have a simple dinner of a hot dog and an apple and mommy be in a good mood? And he literally said, simple dinner and you're in a good mood. I said, okay, I've got a harder question for you. What about, would you rather go to the beach and Disneyland and go to all these places and go wherever you want in the whole world with mommy in a bad mood? Or stay home and play with mom in a good mood? And he said, stay home and play with mom in a good mood. And like just asking these questions, affirming to my brain, what matters more and most is how safe my kids feel with me. They will always choose feeling safe with me over any toy, any candy, any treat, any trip, any toy reward, anything. They will choose feeling safe with me over any of that. And I ask your kids the same questions. Ask them. They'll tell you the same thing. That's what matters to them. So yes, I do think there's room for no. I'm truly and authentically just trying to be as authentic as possible with you guys. The more I focus on just like, what's the way to say yes to this? What's the yes language? And like acquiring all these tools and doing all this, it has been so challenging for me to understand, when do I need to just say a flat out no? I have not found a single time that, and I have 4 kids, 7, 5, 3, and 1. And I have not found a single time with any of them that I need to just say no. Now I have found this, that, casually in conversation, if my son's like, Mom, do you want me to get you a protein bar for our walk? Or do you want me to make you a protein shake? We just got back from our walk. Do you want me to make you a protein shake? I have said no thanks. No, thank you. And they're totally fine with that. So I have like, that's why I'm like, okay, it's totally appropriate. Like this makes sense for me to say. And I'm still trying to put it into words. What is the time that I'm doing that? Is it to express personal preference or like answer this question for them? Or so that part, that's not even in the Yes Mom Challenge. Honestly, it's not. It's not. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up, friends. I've kept you for some time, and I just want you to take it to heart. I want you to join me inside of Momset for this Yes Mom Challenge. It would be such a game changer. $97 to feel like you can speak from a place of calm authority. You're understanding regulation. You're seeing more ways to communicate with your kids and how to take out some of the overuse of no and negative language. Instead of all or nothing mentality and perfection, just look at it as, I'm going to start loving what I say and how I say it. And then when my child feels disappointed, because they're going to feel disappointed, like I'm not giving my kids whatever they want. No, I'm not carrying the bike up the hill. I'm keeping my boundary, and there's times they feel frustrated by that. I want you to be able to experience what it's like to help your child face an emotion knowing that you didn't instigate it. Like, this is an emotion that is occurring appropriately, and let's see how long this emotion lasts when it's here appropriately instead of being instigated. Hannah Vincetti right here in the chat, she's on my team. She works with Momset too. We have such a cool team of moms that I'm just so grateful to be working with them as well. So sign up for the Yes Mom Challenge. All the tools are going to be right inside there. Someone messaged me yesterday saying like, well, I just kind of feel nervous approaching this to my husband. And then she literally told me, wait, $97 is less than 1 therapy appointment. And you're getting 21 tools. I've done a lot of therapy in my life, and no therapist has ever given me 21 tools. So, will this be posted to your page? A lot of good stuff in this video. Yeah, I'll post it, Yasmin. I'll do that for you. Okay, I adore you guys. Tell your spouse, hey, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to make an investment into my parenting. It's $97 for me to learn these tools. I'd love your support. It's okay if you just want to observe while I do it. I would just love to learn to communicate like this. I encourage you to approach your spouse that way rather than we are going to do this and you need to stop saying no. Oh, no, this isn't about him. This is about you. Stop projecting. Stop taking the spotlight off of you. Keep it on you. Double down. Double down. Will the book be sent to Canada? Book. Well, I have a lot of Canadian friends in Momset. I will write a book one day, promise. That's what we're working on. Okay, so you're focusing on that. The challenge starts in just a few days. So 62 of you, whoever's watching this, go get into that challenge. I want to teach you how to stay safe with your kids even when you feel frustrated, when you feel hurt by their behavior. There's a way to feel hurt and be safe. And I want to teach you how to do that really well because it totally increases your self-esteem as a mom. You start to figure out who you really are, and that's a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing how much our kids are here to teach us who we really are. So, online challenge. Oh, the study book is downloadable. Yes, it's a downloadable, printable PDF in the app. I will be writing a book, a whole Yes Mom book. Honestly, putting this challenge together, I'm looking at these, I'm like, I could literally write a book. I'm like 30 pages on all these things. Like I could have a 300-page book. So anyway, I adore you guys. I'm going to see you in a little bit. I'm wrapping up my work, going to go pick up my kids. Bye, guys.